A very good morning to all our viewers. I am Johanna Muri and I'm delighted and very happy to welcome you to the first show of Nagaland TV, that is the Good Morning Show. So we will start our program with the word of the Lord.
Be not quick in your spirit to become angry, for anger lodges in the heart of fools. Ecclesiastes 7:9.
Anger can destroy many things. Even good things can be destroyed by anger. So we should always be patient and we should always be positive. So speaking about positivity, we will now have a look at a thing positive for today.
An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Benjamin Franklin. Now the top headlines for today. Nagaland Bar Association seeks help of the Union Minister in Law and Justice Kiran Rijiju in setting up a separate High Court for Nagaland, saying that the state deserves it after 68 years of statehood. All Nagaland School Teachers Association notifies government that it may be compelled to utilize democratic means of attaining justice if there is no early releasing of pending salaries. Third batch of Hollow Gibbon Conservation Training Program for Forest Guards kicked off, wherein 25 forest guards from Intangi National Park, Nagaland Zoological Park, Dimapur Wildlife Division and others take part. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to participate in the second Global COVID Virtual Summit at the invitation of US President Joe Biden. Summit intends to galvanize new actions to address the continued challenges of COVID-19 pandemic. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to virtually address Utraksh Sharma in Gujarat Baruk, program to mark celebration of 100% coverage of 4 keys of schemes in the state government. Now we will have a look at a print preview. We will review the papers from Eastern Mirror and Morong Express. First, we will have a look at the Eastern Mirror. So, in the front page of Eastern Mirror, it says SC, that is the Supreme Court, puts sedition law on hold. So, what is the sedition law? First, I will talk about the sedition law, then we will have the review of the sedition law. So, the sedition law is a kind of law which puts a person behind bars if a person speaks against the government of India or writes something against the government of India or comes up with a movement that is against the Government of India. So this case is non-bailable and it could cost you fine or you may be imprisonment. You may face imprisonment in jail for lifetime. So now we will first look at the first paragraph of the article. In a landmark order, the Supreme Court on Wednesday put on hold the contagious sedition law till the centre completes its promised review of the colonial relic and also asked the centre and the state government not to register any fresh cases invoking the office. So, in the landmark, the Supreme Court on Wednesday asked the state courts to put the law in hold. Itu sedition law to ita suspend guina rakhibi gushe. So centre completes its promise to review. So the centre has promised that it will review the colonial relic and also ask the centre and government not to register any fresh cases. So as it is been put on hold, so the centre asked not to register any fresh cases. And here it says colonial relic. It says colonial relic because this sedition law was first come up by the British. Itu sedition law to first British Canberra introduced Kurialaga ase. Sedition law, it comes under section 124 of the IPC section and it was introduced by the Britishers back during the colonial rule, and it was introduced by Thomas Macaulay. He was a British politician and and it was this sedition law was also once omitted when IPC was when IPC was removed from 1860, but it came back as section 124A when it was inserted in 1870 by amendment introduced by Sir James Stephen. So, it to introduce Kuriado, maybe Britishers they felt insecure ki tahandu na India de thagishe, and they were having this colonial rule in India. So the Indians were writing many things about the Britishers. During that time we were all fighting. The Indians were fighting for independence. The Indians wanted only independence, so they would write in the newspapers, or they would write articles of how Indians should overthrow the British rule in India, how Indians should do things, do this, do that, to remove the Britishers from India and to gain independence from the Britishers. So that's how the Britishers felt insecure ki this is not right. If they do this, if they keep writing about us, we will face problems. And writing plays a very important role because it gives the reader an imagination ki if this, yeah, they are saying this is correct, if I do this, this will happen, maybe we will gain independence. So it gives the reader an imagination. So the British were insecure of the thing, so they said maybe we need a law which prohibits the Indians to write against us. So how this law was introduced, and it is also called a draconian law like the Afspa, because this rule is a very dangerous rule because it is non-bailable, and it could also lead you to lifetime imprisonment or fine, like I mentioned before. So it law introduced Korea to bishi danger loy katagishe, but it law the bishi deri kane they were not using it. So it was first used against it was first used by the Britishers, and then it was used against Mahatma Gandhi as well in the year 1982, along with his partner of Young India Properator, for an article. It was used for an article which was written against them. So this, like I've mentioned before, this act is punishable under Article 124A, and it was first used against Jagendra Chandra Bose in the year 1891 because he wrote an article criticizing the government. A bench headed by Justice of India N.V. Ramana directed the ongoing probes, pending trials, and all proceedings under the sedition law across the country were kept in abeyance. Those in jail of sedition case could approach in the government for bail. So anyone who is in jail under a sedition case could apply for bail, could grant for bail, because this law has now been put on hold. You cannot go to jail, or you cannot be in jail for something which is not in the law. So the SC has said that the law has been put on hold, so no fresh cases need to be registered on account of sedition law. The court is of security interest, of integrity of state on one hand, and the civil liberties citizens on the other hand. So court is also trying to come up with things they are trying to review the law of the sedition. The offense of sedition, which was included in the section 124A of the Indian Penal Code in 1980, has been under intense public scrutiny for use of a tool against expression of dissent, including on social media. So, as we all know, ajikali mohan social media la age there. Say, whenever we are disappointed at something, or we are not happy, even to the smallest things or to the biggest thing, we write on social media. We post about the government on social media, and we write about our grievances. But here, in this case, it kind of shuts your mouth. It stops you from writing against the government, and you don't have the freedom of speech anymore. So that is why the Supreme Court felt that this needs to be reviewed. Taking note of the concerns of the Centre, the Apex Court said the rigorous Section 124 of the IPC is not attuned with the current social milieu and permitted reconsideration of the provision. Like I've mentioned before, we live in a social media age, so this was not kind of approved by the Indians, and there were many cases related to this as well, so it has been put on hold. Now we will move on to the next story. Here it says, students told to change their mindset. Alluding to the globalization of the high digital world, Chief Executive CEO of Investment Development Authority of Nagaland, Alamtamshi Jamir, on Wednesday told students to change their mindset to live with the rest of the world. So these students told to change their mindset. So here, the Digital World Chief Executive Officer Alamtamshi has urged the students to change their mindset, in a better way so that they can compete with the world and so that they can live with the rest of the world. He was addressing at the valedictory session of the two-day Nagaland EduConnect Conclave at Capital Convention Center in Kohima. So EduConnect is kind of like we discussed about EduConnect yesterday as well. It's a kind of it connects students from all over the state, and it gives students opportunities to learn about things going on outside, it gives them chance to choose their college wisely, and it gives them career guidance, and it also helps them learn about scholarships or education loan and everything. So as he was speaking on the two-day program of EduConnect, Alamtamshi Jamir urged the students to change their mindset and to get better and to develop or evolve in their way of living. Jamir pointed out that with globalization, students must think about the world that is expanding and not confined within Nagaland. So Alamtamshi stated that students in this world, we are developing very fast. And even Nagaland is developing very fast. Alamtamshi bara, he urged the students not to be confined within Nagaland. Nagaland na pitorehi na pabina, or just Nagaland na pitorehi kiba confined na tagigina bahar labi sabi and bahar labi saigina manukhange immediate kuribi, not in a bad way but in a good way, immediate kurigina grow kurubule kushen. He said that students have to be dedicated and focused and not succumb to the circumstances of being from a poor background. So basically, when he said immediate, we Baharla students are bishi dedicated as we can see. Our Baharla students handaga, you see, they are manon bishi palkuresi outside of Nagaland. Mohan la country be bacha bishi as who are doing very well. Our bishi we India brabi bishi palba students olai dunimite. He is urging the Naga students not to think ki mohandu Naga do backward la ase inya na phabigina bahar de student nan kiniga phal bajaya se itu nishna itu saigina phal wetiba immediate kuribole kuche. Earlier, Rajiv Gupta from Japan Center of Excellence made a presentation on study of foreign language by Bosco AGM State Bank of India, Kohima, on facilitating the availing student loans. Dr. Ramana, CEO, Ladder Constituency on Employment through Aspiration Management. So, program there, student made presentation on group of study of foreign language la Kotabi Kurishe, and then they also talked about educational loan. Okay, so that is all for this Eastern Mirror. Now we will have review of the Morong Express. Here it's about the SC sedition case only, so we will not focus much on this as well. Now we will see about senior Al Jazeera journalist killed in Israeli raid. Senior journalist Ektage Morai Dishikoyesim. A veteran journalist working for Al Jazeera was killed on Wednesday during an Israeli operation in the West Bank city of Jenin. So basically, to Al Jazeera journalist, Al Jazeera to ekta Doha, Qatar laga newspaper ase. So the journalist was based in Jerusalem. Aru tai idu tate kaam kore tamde she was killed by the Israeli armies. The Palestinian Health Ministry said that a 51-year-old Shireen Abu Akleh, a Jerusalem-based journalist for Al Jazeera, was hit in the head by the live fire. Palestinian Health Ministry Barkusheki, udu 51 years journalist came. Taide Jerusalem-based tagishe journalist for Al Jazeera. Taige Juibra Mathade Lagishe, and that's what caused her death. A second reporter, Ali Samodi from Al Quds newspaper, sustained a gunshot. Arudu newspaper ekta alak journalist ke bhi gunshot bra lagishe, and in the back and in stable condition, the ministry said. Luckily, that stable condition. The Israeli minister denied that its forces targeted the journalist and called for a joint prological analysis and investigation to establish the truth. So, Israeli forces kan probably tahan defense day. They are saying that no, we did not do it on purpose. Or we do like we did not target her. Ki taige morabo ko kina target kurala no hoy kushe. So tahan itula opor debi they are going through analysis and investigation on this case. Itula case opor. According to the Israeli Defense Force, the militants opened fire at the Israeli force and hurled explosive at them during the raids before the soldiers returned fire. The Israeli-led defense para kusheki militants para Israeli force opor fire explosions han Koreanimide. They also opened fire against them. The IDF was looking at into a possibility and now being looked into. The reporter was hit possibly by shots fired by Palestinian gunmen. Israelis can brato Palestinian can get blame kurisi, whereas the Palestinians are blaming the Israeli force, but tahan kungun get blame kuribe. A life has been lost and it is a very sad thing that a journalist has had to be killed on duty. So print period yaba khotom kurilobo ami khan itula segment. We will go to the next segment. It's always nice to learn about facts, so we will all learn about the fact of the day for today.
India's population officially reached 1 billion on May 12, 2000.
The overpopulated Indian population reached 1 billion today. So we should all think about population, because population is we should all keep it under control. Now my favorite segment, that is the morning melody.
I fell in love with the things you do without your hands on me. Never knew I'll lay on the right side bed of yours. Wanna flex your body around the mirror. Wanna sing you a song that's on my mind. Let me be the one, girl, to love you, hold you every day. Ay. I can make you feel good when you're down. Ay. Let me be your trooper when you're home bored. Ay. I can be a good vibe if you need, girl. I don't just wanna be your good friend, girl. I wanted more of everything, girl. I know I'm crazy about every shit on my mind, but I can't stop myself thinking of you. We can go anywhere you like, girl. Grab a drink and dance all night long on the moonlight night on the dance floor. Ay, ay. I fell in love with the things you do without your hands on me. Never knew I'd lay on the right side bed of yours. Ay. Wanna flex your body around the mirror. Wanna sing you a song that's on my mind. Life seems so rough when you're not around me. Your love is what keeps me going. Life seems so rough when you're not around me. Your love is what keeps me going. I fell in love with the things you do without your hands on me. Never knew I'd lay on the right side bed of yours. Ay. Wanna flex your body around the mirror. Ay. Wanna sing you a song that's on my mind. Ay. I fell in love with the things you do without your hands on me. Never knew I'd lay on the right side bed of yours. Ay. Wanna flex your body around the mirror. Ay. Wanna sing you a song that's on my mind. Ay. Wanna flex your body around the mirror. Wanna sing you a song that's on my mind.
Okay, viewers, the show has come to an end. Before you leave, please have a look at a weather report as well.